From historic paintings like this Rembrandt to priceless diamonds and two of Jane Birkin's original handbags, this event is bringing together some of the most priceless items in the world. Now, events like this inaugural Collectors Week, organised by Sotheby's in partnership with Abu Dhabi Investment Office, really anchor Abu Dhabi in the global art market, drawing in collectors and institutions. Josh Pullan is Sotheby's Global Head of Luxury.
This is one of the highlights of Collectors Week. This is the Desert Rose. It's a 31 carat fancy orange pink diamond, roughly 31 carats, and the estimate is $5 to $7 million. So we have a complete mix here for Collectors Week, where we have fabulous cars. So we have a McLaren F1 with the estimate of $21 million. We have over here, in fact, we have a set of Patek Philippe Star Calibers, $10 to $15 million. We have one of Jane Birkin's bags called the Voyager, and that's a fabulous piece, and as well as a number of bicycles, including a race-ridden bike from Colnago.
And while high-end art markets in the US and the UK have seen auction sales declining by 12% last year, demand in the Gulf is rising, driven by new cultural institutions like the Louvre Abu Dhabi, the Guggenheim, and the floating Dubai Museum of Art. And then there's your private buyers as well, affluent millennials and Gen Zs with growing discretionary capital. Lateefa Bin Hamoodah is a cultural strategist based in the UAE. She reckons the appetite for art here is increasing.
And I think because people recognize that this is the place to be, and there's a lot of momentum through the museum openings, but also really the private collectors are also stepping up, and the private institutions are stepping up. You have people from satellite manufacturers and hedge funds who are really interested in thinking of how art can increase their cultural and social capital. I think the best way to describe this ecosystem is that it's really coming together because there's enough key players, whether it's through auction houses like Sotheby's being present, and art advisories such as Beaumont Nathan, and also the museums. Everyone feels also this momentum because of all the news that you get to see, whether it's Frieze coming through, and next year Guggenheim coming through.
In the UAE, the premium art and collectibles market is now estimated at around $1.2 billion US, and sales of modern Middle Eastern art have also almost tripled in just 4 years, and it's a trend the major auction houses have spotted. Sotheby's, Christie's and Phillips are all expanding into the Gulf and Asia, shifting away from London and New York. It's one of the biggest geographic realignments the art market has seen in decades. Here's Josh Pullan from Sotheby's again.
But we have seen a significant uptick in bidding from clients in the UAE specifically, and also that younger audience, certainly in the last, I would say, 12 to 18 months. So it's interesting because we've seen that the audience here is very much younger than perhaps typical markets. So we over-index in clients that are under the age of 40, and so we see a great demand for young collectors here.
Around the world, collectors are increasingly treating luxury goods as alternative investments. Wealth managers now integrate art, watches, jewellery and even cars into broader portfolios, using them for diversification and legacy planning. And that's one of the reasons why globally nearly $1 trillion in art and collectibles are expected to exchange hands over the next decade. Courtney Kremer of Sotheby's auction house in New York says it's a solid investment strategy.
In the November sales in New York, we saw really across all categories and price points a revitalization of the market. So you have, on one hand, which I think is almost the biggest tell of what's happening, the November day sales. So that's a sale of 300 or so lots where we sell everything, or value-wise from $50,000 to $5 million. That was a record sale for us ever, selling over $100 million. That's really where you see what's happening in the core of the art market. But then you look all the way to the top, and we had the record price achieved for the Gustav Klimt painting from Leonard Lauder's collection, the portrait of Elizabeth Letter. That sold for $236 million, which was the most expensive object that Sotheby's had ever sold. So really on every level, we saw records broken last month, and I think it's a great indication that the market has turned a corner and that we're hopefully into a new period of art market strength and growth.
Historically, high-end and expensive collectibles like these cars have overperformed during periods of inflation, market volatility, and geopolitical uncertainty. But then they don't do as well once global liquidity tightens. For now, here in the Gulf, collectors seem really confident, and events like this suggest that, at least for the time being, this region is going to play an increasing role in what the world buys and why.